Hey guys, I'm going to look at my run of House of Secrets. I'm going to cover number 81 through 120 in this video. So I'll be going pretty quick once I get going here, but I wanted to explain this. Now, what's significant about starting at number 81, that is the first issue from the new so-called mystery line that was helmed by Joe Orlando. That actually started in House of Mystery number 174 in 1968. But House of Secrets number 81 came out in 1969, and it was hosted by Kane's brother Abel. And this book here, DC Special number 4, is from 1969. That actually came out like 2 weeks before House of Secrets 81. So DC Special number 4 is actually the first appearance of Abel, the horror host. And I got a killer deal on this book. It's in low grade. It's probably, good 2.0, but that is graded strictly by Overstreet. It's CGC might call it a 4, but or 3 anyway. But anyway, this book I got for $1.95. I've had it on safe searches for a long time, and all I ever see is beaters, and they want like, 15, 20, 25 bucks. I was kind of waiting on a mid-grade copy that I could get a decent deal on, but when I saw this, I couldn't pass it up. $1.95 for this book, and the shipping was cheap. I mean, the shipping prices on eBay are a big deal, when you factor in the total, because you pay tax on the shipping and all that. And I got this book for less than $6 with all that mess. Shipping, tax, and cost. So I was all over that. And I don't mind lower grade books. As long as they're complete and they look halfway decent, Don't bother me a bit. I'm not even going to upgrade it unless I find a really good deal on one later. But anyway, this is the first appearance of Abel. This is a square-bound book. Of course, it's a quarter. And it was a quarter. And it's reprints, but it's got a wraparound story with the DC horror hosts. Has the three witches from The Witching Hour and Kane from House of Mystery, and the new, first appearance of Abel, going to host House of Secrets, and a guy from The Unexpected, and some, it's just like a who's who of DC horror hosts. So anyway, glad to get that. Now we will get into House of Secrets proper. This is number 81. This is the first appearance of Abel in the title. And also the house is like a character. But this cover is by Neal Adams. And it's pretty gorgeous. It's got the mystery brats there with the dog. They were a recurring theme on the covers. Bet Adams got tired of drawing those brats. But they were always in peril, so he could relish the thought of that, I guess. Here's number 82. There's another beautiful Neal Adams cover. And more mystery brats and another dog. Here's number 83. Pretty cover by Gray Morrow, another favorite. And the interior art by Alex Toth. Very nice. Number 84, cover by Neal Adams. Really cool. And we got more brat action there with the dog. Number 85, cover is by Neal Adams, of course. He did a lot of these. This is some of his best work, in my opinion. The covers he did for DC horror titles back in the late 60s and early 70s, especially House of Mystery, House of Secrets, and just awesome, awesome work. And the interior art on this has a story by Ralph Reese, who's like an understudy of Wally Wood. I always liked Ralph Reese's work. And it also has a Neal Adams interior story. And here is number 86. That's a cool Neal Adams cover, and interior art by Gray Morrow. And there's the brats back there lurking around, and the little dog. I bet Neal Adams at some point just wanted to draw a blown out, gory cover or just an illustration somewhere of these brats getting torn limb from limb by some monster and the dog getting eaten or whatever, you know, like an Erie Pubs, like just gore over the top. I bet, you know, he might have wanted to cut loose like that, but as far as I know, he never really got the chance. They couldn't do that in code-approved comics, of course, but I think he was getting kind of tired of drawing kids at some point, but he always did a good job. Here's number 87. This cover is by Adams, and the interior art by Mike Kaluta. Number 88. Now that is gorgeous. I mean, talk about your classic Gothic horror. That is just exquisite, man. It's Neal Adams, of course, and I think that's actually a painting. I mean, it might actually be a painting by Adams, but it is by Adams. It's beautiful. That's some of his best work ever, I think. And here's number 89, cover by Gray Morrow, interior art by Gray Morrow. Now you notice the look of this with this oval portrait type layout. They're kind of getting into the you know, the Gothic romance. I like the bat logo there. They had that for a while, and they soon came out with a couple of series that tried to cash in on the Gothic romance too. The Sinister House of Secret Love and the Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love. And that was all due, probably had to be, by the popularity of Dark Shadows on television. I mean, Dark Shadows was really popular back then. So DC wanted to, you know, jump on that bandwagon and get a piece of that. I guess they figured they could go with the Gothic horror / Gothic romance and get the girls and the boys to buy their books. And it probably worked up to a point. And here's number 90. So, trippy cover. It's by Neal Adams, and with interior art by Neal Adams and by Gray Morrow. Another great Adams cover, number 91. Interior art by Wally Wood. And this is a reprint. This is like for a reader copy or whatever, one of the Silver Age classics for House of Secrets 92. And there's the real House of Secrets 92. Of course, everybody knows about this pretty much if you know anything about comics. Covers by Bernie Wrightson. Interior art by Bernie Wrightson. First Swamp Thing. This girl is modeled by Wheezy Jones, who was married to Jeff Jones at the time and later married Walt Simonson. And I think her and Jeff Jones lived in the same building with Wrightson, and I believe in Bruce Jones, and Mike Kaluta was lurking around there somewhere. Anyway, all of them knew each other, and they were all friends. And, you know, they'd get together and draw and cut up and all that. So that is actually modeled by Wheezy Jones. And if there's any one comic book that is symbolic of Bernie Wrightson, I think this is probably it. I mean, I'm a huge Wrightson fan. He's my favorite artist. And I think that this is the Wrightson book to have. Not for the first Swamp Thing, but just because it's so significant in that it's got, you know, the character model by Louise Jones on the cover, and it's such great work by Wrightson just as he was coming into his prime. And it's just a super book. I bought this copy at a comic book store in Brunswick, Georgia in I'm pretty sure it was 1977, late in the summer, when we were either just going down to the coast of Georgia for a vacation or coming back from Florida. I don't remember, but anyway, I discovered a comic book store down there not long after I started collecting, and I got this for $6, and that was a lot of money back then. But you know, it was always a hot book, even back when everything was real cheap in the guide and you could get books super cheap back in the 70s. This book was always a lot more than the stuff around, you know, the issues around it. So I was ecstatic to finally get a copy of this thing. I mean, it's such a huge deal, even for $6, you know, which was a lot to me back then. But now it's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm just glad that in that window of time I grabbed that thing, because I don't think I'd be buying one right now. I'd stick with that reprint. A bit out of my price range. This is number 93, and it's a gorgeous Neal Adams cover. I mean, I'm sorry, I had so used to saying Adams. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover, a gorgeous Bernie Wrightson cover. And interior art by Alex Toth and Nick Cardy. Was kind of captivated by that art, and I drifted off into Wrightson reverie there. So here's number 94, another great Bernie Wrightson cover. Interior art by Toth and Alan Weiss and Bernie Wrightson. I tell you, this was some of the best stuff Wrightson ever did. Yeah, he did great things later, but I really love his work on House of Mystery, House of Secrets. Just excellent work. This is number 95. This cover is by Nick Cardy, who was certainly no slouch. Nick Cardy could hang in there with the best of them. Here's number 96. This cover is by Bernie Wrightson. You know, it's one you don't see talked about very much, but it's a great Wrightson cover. Interior art by Alex Toth and Wally Wood. And I'm telling you, this is just a who's who of great artists from the time in this title and House of Mystery. Here is number 97. Now here is another really awesome cover that just screams Gothic horror. This is by Jack Sparling. Jack Sparling could really turn out some incredible work when he set his mind to it. I mean, it's just gorgeous, man. And here's number 98. Now, you'll notice that there's a little label. That's just to hold the flap down. I'm double bagging these in Mylar to save on space and the fact that Mylar is really expensive. Even the Mylights, or arc lights, as it were, that's what these are. They came from Bill Cole years and years ago. But anyway, just ignore the little label there when you see it. Here is number 98. This cover is by Mike Kaluta. Interior art by Mike Kaluta and Alex Toth. Alex Toth is famous for his animation work. He designed some of my favorite characters for Hanna-Barbera back in the day. You know, Space Ghost and the Herculoids, but I don't want to get off on that now. I'll never quit talking about it. Here's number 99. Cover by Mike Kaluta. Interior story art by Bernie Wrightson. And here's number 100. This is a classic cover by Bernie Wrightson. Interior art, Tom Palmer, the great inker that worked so much for Marvel back in the day, especially on Tomb of Dracula. Yeah, look at that. I mean, just soak that in for a second there. Yeah, you got this rotund guy getting, those zombies are going to feast. Yeah, they're going to chow down. Having a buffet. Here's number 101. This cover, it's a really awesome cover by Mike Kaluta. Interior art by Alex Nino, another great artist. Here is number 102. This cover is by Mike Kaluta. Very nice graveyard scene. Getting back into some brats there. 103, another classic Wrightson cover. That all black cover with, I mean, the lighting on that and the subject matter is just so trippy, man. Wrightson had a way about him. Interior art in this issue, there's an Alex Nino drawn story. And here is number 104. This cover is by Nick Cardy. Now, here's a neat one in the gray tone. This number 105 is another Jack Sparling cover. You know, he could excel when he put his mind to it. And number 106, another beautiful Bernie Wrightson cover. Interior art, there's a Bernie Wrightson story on the inside as well as an Alex Nino story. It's just gorgeous stuff, man. Looks like the ghouls have somebody down back there, and some chick is spying on him, and she better get a head start. And here is number 107, another great Bernie Wrightson cover, and of course there is Abel, and they've even got his tombstone there. Yeah, this is classic Wrightson. These little imps and freaks that he draws, I mean, that harkens back to the creations of Arcane from Swamp Thing. You know, the Unmen or whatever. Just really cool stuff. You just can't beat Bernie Wrightson in my book. So sorry when he was ill and passed away. Okay, here is number 108. That's a cool mummy cover by Jack Sparling. Number 109, cover by Nick Cardy. Interior art by Alex Nino. Pretty cool. Number 110, cover by Luis Dominguez. Yeah, Dominguez is another one, man. He just did some awesome work back in the day. See, it's signed way down here in the corner, LD. Very nice. And there is number 111, cover by Nick Cardy. All those demons perched on tombstones and such. And some poor guy turning into one, it looks like. And there is number 112. Oh, that's cool. This is by Luis Dominguez as well. And we've got number 113 there, cover by Jack Sparling, and you got some brats down there under the bridge. Yeah, they better hope that guy carrying the coffin don't see him. He looks like a pretty strong henchman. And he'll have murder in his eye, no doubt. Here's number 114. It's cover by Nick Cardy. Good skeleton cover and a hockey cover. Whoa. Here's number 115, cover by Luis Dominguez and interior art by Alex Nino. Number 116, This cover is by Luis Dominguez. They must have really liked his work. He did quite a few covers here in the stretch. He did a good job. Here's number 117. This cover is by Luis Dominguez with interior art by Alex Nino. And here's number 118. This cover is by Luis Dominguez. Number 119, cover by Luis Dominguez. Interior art by Arthur Suedem. I've heard it pronounced Sweedem. I'm going to play it safe and go with Suedem. I mean, I really have appreciated the guy's art for a long, long time, but I never did really hear how to pronounce that name properly. Suedem is what I've always called him, but I have heard people say Sweedem, so. And the last issue I'm going to cover in this video, number 120. That cover is by Luis Dominguez. And I will do another video at some point covering some more of these great House of Secrets issues, as well as more comic book and monster magazine videos to go along with the toy and playset videos that I have been doing. So stay tuned.